day I chose not to let anything win but my drive to get me to the top.
Frank Lee made the beat.
What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, I have the owner of Brand Appetit, the food truck lady, Miss Misty. Yeah, how you doing?
Hello, Kendrick. I'm well. How are you?
Look, I am great. Now that we're here, I want to say thank you for, like I say, taking some time out the busy schedule. I know that it is real, but as we talked about, you guarding that peace, and so I so appreciate that.
Absolutely. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hey, so before we get into things, I always like to do a wellness check for that very reason we talked about. So as you've been moving around, interviewing, doing so much, how you staying safe throughout this pandemic?
You know, I am staying safe by staying grounded, first and foremost, by staying grounded spiritually. And for me, that looks like meditation. That looks like walking meditations. It could be sitting on the floor with my mat with some crystals around me, just grounding myself. And that really works for me. That really keeps me sane mentally and physically. Just keep working out and, you know, eating as many raw fruits and vegetables as possible. No, I'm not a vegan, but I know that has most nutrients for me that'll keep me healthy. So,
And so now thinking about eating so well in your line of work, you're so tempted though. How do you avoid it?
it's not easy. Kendrick, it's not easy. I am surrounded by phenomenal chefs, either in the food truck world or just chefs that I build relationships with. And I'm always invited to tastings. So I'm at a point now, especially since I'm not that woman who has an issue saying her age. I literally just turned 39 2 weeks ago. So as I'm 39 approaching 40, if I know on my calendar, okay, I have Kendrick's tasting on Thursday and this one on Tuesday. Okay, yes, so I'm just going to eat salad those other days so I can indulge for the event. So
yeah, that would be me. Yeah, that'll be me. Yeah, I'm gonna run that extra mile this week.
Yeah, it's not.
That's it. Yeah. So, and getting into a little bit of what you do, for those that don't know, and for the ones who think you get this way overnight, can you give us a little bit of background on you and your work even before Brand Appetit?
Absolutely. So my corporate background is in marketing. Kendrick, I fell in love with marketing. I love marketing, love it, love it, love it. But when I graduated from college, there was no such thing as social media yet. Facebook was just being created and it was for college kids only. So I'm saying that to say I literally went to school for marketing prior to. So I'm in love with that version of marketing. I've done marketing for law firms. I've worked for organic sweetener companies. I've worked for food companies. I worked as a publicist. I've worked for Walt Disney. I've done a lot. I literally have done everything. And for me, marketing is always about building relationships. And I always tell my clients, people do business with people that they like. Okay. So it has nothing to do. You can have a phenomenal product. Let's be clear. So I'm going to blast somebody right quick. Raising Cane's. That chicken is not even seasoned. Okay. Let's be clear. But it's the sauce. And I can't say you have a Chick-fil-A experience, but you have a decent experience. We like them, right? So we keep going back. Or even to Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, not bad at all. But can it touch Popeyes flavor-wise? Absolutely not. But we do business with people that we like. So that was my journey. My very last corporate job. Well, I went in and out for a little bit, but I decided to leave corporate and specifically just solely work on Brand Appetit. It was 2015, Kendrick, and I was the communications and event manager for a very large optical company. And I remember we were having our annual events and I planned a lot of conferences and I had this huge whiteboard in my office. And so prior to me joining the team, the company was very kind of outdated. So I had all these innovative ideas written on this whiteboard, scheduled a meeting with the CEO. That's who I reported to. And I went over 20 different ideas with him. And Kendrick, he nixed every idea. He said no to every single one. And I am a creative person. And that was my moment that I was like, I cannot be put into a box. So decided to took that leap of faith, which I do not recommend quitting without some type of source of income. Let me be clear. Learn from me. That is not the smart way, but that was the way that I decided to go. And again, wanted to do marketing. So I stayed in the marketing realm, fell in love with food trucks, and figured out a way to tie in the two.
Figured out a way. And the thing is, I know you say have that net, but sometimes when you feel it like you did, I think that made you push harder.
Oh, let's be clear. I gave up a couple times.
Yeah. Okay.
I always tell people I definitely, some days you come out the gates running, right? You are, well, I'm ready. And then some moments you crawl, and some moments you're like, how the hell am I supposed to do this? I have this vision, but how do I get it done? And I feel like for me personally, I focus so much on what I did not have and not what I did have. So I let my lack mindset take over instead of looking at all of the amazing things that I did have, the people who supported me, this, that, and yeah.
Talk down.
But when I will tell you, once I actually took my blinders off and said, okay, so this was my issue. I wanted to do Brand Appetit, and I wanted to have food trucks, and I wanted to wrap them. So say, Kendrick, if you were getting married, or if you wanted one for KTTEV, right? And you wanted a branded food truck for an upcoming festival, and you wanted to have your podcast out there. Okay, my mind at that time was, oh, but I don't own a food truck. I have to have a food truck. So one day I told myself, we're not going to let that limit us anymore. You know so many food trucks. I hosted a crowdfunding campaign, Kendrick. My goal was to raise $12,000. I raised a little bit over $17,000. And I started seeing all the things I did have. And it just started rolling. But I failed again, but it started rolling.
And with the Brand Appetit, just as you hit on a little bit of it, talk to us about what the business is and what do you do?
Sure.
Everybody was think you own, like you driving around in the truck, but it's different.
People always think that, right? So I always have to come back and say, no, I don't own a truck. So I was literally branded the food truck lady by one of my mentors because I was always eating at food trucks. He's like, I'm gonna call you the food truck lady. It's like, okay. So that took off. But what Brand Appetit is, again, me taking my love for food trucks and my love for marketing and combining the two. So instead of a billboard or instead of a radio ad, I will take your brand and wrap it on a food truck. And I will create a whole marketing plan for you, a whole marketing strategy for 2 to 3 weeks. Who do you want to target? What are the analytics? What data is it that you're trying to gather? If you don't have a company and you just want a food truck at your wedding or your engagement party or your child's birthday party, I will have you go get some professional photos taken. I'll work with a photographer. We'll take those photos and wrap it on a truck. So now it's your event. You have your own personalized food truck. And I will tell you this, Kendrick, so August of last year, I got a call to be a part of a celebrity wedding. And the venue was so upscale. It was so high end. No food truck would have really fit. And so I was twiddling my thumbs. What can I do? What can I do? And I just had this vision, bike carts. When I was in Italy and Greece in 2019, I saw all these cute bike carts. I got a Champagne bike cart built. And so now I not only do I provide food trucks for events, I have Champagne bike carts too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
You say wow, it's like,
Yeah, like I said, you already broke it down to me. 4 in the world, right? And so being innovative, hey, look, and to reward that innovativeness, creativeness, you think about the Brand Appetit brand, the Be Good competition, right? Yeah. And so, what was it? Like you see it, you say I'll apply, and then talk to me about the process. How did it go?
Kendrick, I applied for so many grants, literally. Yeah. But when I saw that, so I'm in this email, it's called Hello Alice. For anybody listening, sign up with Hello Alice. They will send you a list of different grants that are available every week. Okay, so every week I'm getting this email with all these different grants. So I see Beyonce's philanthropic brand, Be Good, is having a grant application. So of course I'm going to apply for that too. I've applied for everything else. And I remember she required a video of you explaining your business and et cetera. And when I tell you, when I go back and look at that video, I'm always like, it was so meant for me to get this grant because I look a mess. I did about 4 to 5 video takes, and it just seemed like nothing was going right. And I would have never expected that I was going to be awarded the money, but I just allowed my passion for my business to shine through. And I think that if I think back on it, I think the one selling point for me, because only 5 people in Houston got the grant. Out of all the places, I explained, like, when I explained Brand Appetit, because I've always struggled with people understanding the concepts. They always think I have food trucks. So when I was explaining it on the video, I was like, I would love to take Be Good and put your brand on a food truck and go into the Houston community and feed the homeless and host a back to school drive and have a single mom's day. And I really explained it and I let my passion show. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what really helped me win.
Wow. And man, you know, just it's so awesome that just giving back to the hometown. Awesome concept. Then just thinking about using her brand like that. I mean, that's powerful, you know, to say that you're supporting people. Now you get what was it, email or was it a call to say you're a recipient? Like, what happened?
I am in Alaska filming for Food Network, as you know. And an Alaska time is about 4 hours behind Central Standard Time. And you don't have a lot of time on this show. So we have 16-hour days where we're filming. And so you're tired a lot. And I was just laying in the bed in my hotel room. So I had some emails, and that, by the way, no cell phone service. None of the services that we have here work there. So whenever you had Wi-Fi, you better do everything you can do. And I'm just scrolling through my email. Congratulations, you've been... Me? Y'all sure? Misty? And I run to my teammate's room and I'm beating on her door. I'm like, Chef, open the door. And I have her read it to me. And I was like, they chose me? She's like, yes. And we just kind of like just screamed and ran around the room. And that was it.
Man, and it's now the thing is the celebration, but then after that comes, okay, what am I going to do with this money? How am I going to do such and such? Like where it's about to go down. Because from being an entrepreneur, you know, it's so many places where you say, I need to do this, I need to do that, because I'm building my business.
Right.
So how did you kind of narrow things down to be intentional to make the best out of that opportunity?
So let me tell you this. This is something I have not shared with anybody publicly. So exclusive. When I left for Alaska, Kendrick, I think I may have had $200 in business and personal account collectively. And I went out there and I filmed the show. And I had this lovely townhouse in Third Ward that I was renting. And when November came, I just didn't have the rent money. And I'm in Alaska. So I just had to send my landlord a message. Now, I've been staying here 3 years. I've paid my rent every month on time, even despite COVID, everything that happened. And he was really upset that I didn't have the funds. Like, why wouldn't you tell me? How long have you been knowing this? Like, really? But I say all that to say, when I received the grant money, I had a decision to make. Like you said, am I going to put this back into my business, or do I want to continue to live in this lavish townhouse? And I made the decision. No, I'm going to move. I don't know where I'm going to move, but I am no longer going to pay $1,500 in rent. Yes, I know that's a lot, but that's what I was liking at the time. And I downsized completely into a small studio in Third Ward. And I decided that I wanted to use my grant money to hire a publicist, because I knew, with Beyonce giving me money, I knew that was publicity worthy. I knew that being on the Food Network at this time was publicity worthy. And I knew investing that money in a publicist would get me the attention that I needed to take Brand Appetit even higher. So that's what I did. Wow. That's what I did. I used about $2,000 for to move, to pay rent a couple times, and the rest, okay, I'll pay my publicist.
Let's do work.
That's it. Let's go.
Hey, at the end of the day, I'm going to always bet on myself.
That's it. So that's what I did.
Man, now, as you were speaking on it a little bit, like you say, during the pandemic, a lot of things slowed down. Mm-hmm. And so as they slowing down, you're in the thick of Bon Appetit. Mm-hmm. So what is that conversation like with the food trucks that's in your network and saying, okay, well, hold tight, guys. We'll kind of pick up and such and such. How did those conversations happen?
Oh man. So luckily, so I can honestly say that my food truck, I call them my food truck buddies. They are like family. We are tight and we're very genuine and we have a good relationship. We had conversations, but everybody knew. And so they don't depend on me solely to bring income, but it was just slow. Hell, none of the world knew what was going on. So we just didn't know. And we just had conversations and we all tried to figure things out. It even got to a point, Kendrick, where I said, okay, well, I'm going to work with companies who already have food trucks. So for instance, Fuddruckers. Fuddruckers has a food truck here in Houston. Chick-fil-A has a food truck here in Houston. They used to be called BB's Cafe. Now they're called like Tex Orleans, has a food trailer in Houston. So I'm contacting all of them like, hey, can we work together, partner together to put on an event for the elderly? Because at that time, the elderly didn't have a lot of food, etc. I'm having great conversations with the VPs of these companies, but nobody had the funds to do it. Like no one, like I think now, Luby's and Fuddruckers, they're owned by the same parent company. If I'm not mistaken, they're pretty much about to close their doors. So it was just a halting process for all of us.
Yeah. And like I just keep hearing you saying like you were steady putting things together, working for the community. And so how many events did you end up doing during that pandemic?
I did none. I did absolutely and it's crazy. So like we even go out and feed the community on Christmas and we do it every year. And we got to a point where we just decided to go beyond feeding them. So we started doing toiletries, wet wipes, socks, things that homeless people really need. And so in December 2019, we said, we're not going to do it on Christmas anymore. So my food truck buddies, I said, because everybody is out here on Christmas Day. Let's feed them on Valentine's Day. Spread the love. Nobody's thinking about them. We were planning to do that, but something happened. I can't remember if one of us had to travel. So we postponed it to March 2020. And by that time, COVID hit.
Yeah, it was too late.
So it's like, so
like surprise.
I know. So that was
now. So, but through the marketing and promotion, this is how you met the food truck company that you went to the competition with.
So no.
Okay.
So I applied. So okay, I'll tell you something my business coach told me once. He said, Misty, I need you to stop trying to make sure everybody else won and make sure you win first. Because I'm that person. I'm always like, oh, do this, do that, do this. And I'm always inspiring. Yeah. And so I have, if I went back and looked at my Instagram, and I think in 2016 or 17, I was telling other food trucks, apply to be on the show, apply to be on Great Food Truck Race. I don't know what made me apply. I can't tell you when I applied, Kendrick. I just know I applied. And I get a phone call from Food Network. Hey, we want you on the show. We watched you. We want you to do this. We need you to put together a team of 2 chefs, but who have never worked on a food truck. So yeah, so that threw curveball, right? I got food truck chefs. So that's how that happened. And so we planned everything here. Sorry, that's my sister. I thought I paused that. So we planned everything here. And we went to Alaska. Wow.
And so how did you find the chefs? Like who? I mean, it's the Food Network. So I don't think they'd be like, but like, it's still a network of people. How did you narrow it down? ETC.
Let me tell you, this is exactly what I did because I do know other chefs, right? And I'm always doing tastings. So I'm always being invited for tastings because again, if KTTEV wanted something, you wanted your branded food truck, you may not want a food truck chef. So that's when I would partner with other chefs. So I know other chefs. Great, phenomenal. But the issue was Food Network told me I needed to have a team and submit their names by end of day.
Whoa.
Say they'd call me at like noon. I'm like, So what I did was I reached out to every single chef I knew that had never worked on a food truck. And after I reached out, Kendrick, nobody was responding. And I remember praying. And I was just like, whoever is meant to be on this team, let them contact me back. Those were the 2. And I know until this day, those were the 2 until I was actually allowed to post that I was on the show. Then those chefs like, why didn't you call me? Are you kidding me? I did call you. I texted you. Right.
Yeah.
But it just shows me that it was meant for us three to go together. So
Oh, and you say nobody called except what's the name?
Chef D'Ambria Jacobs, Chef D. She was the
Yeah.
only one, and she introduced me to the other chefs. So it was meant for that to happen that way.
Yeah. And what was the name of the team, the truck in the competition?
Okay, before I tell you that team, we were originally Southern Taste.
Okay.
That's what we wanted to go in on. Oh, we'll be Southern Taste because we're from Houston. Chef D says, "Oh, that sounds boring.
Yeah.
I think that we should, if I see a truck, you know what? I make these pastry puff balls. I can stuff it with meatloaf. I can stuff it with collard greens, cornbread. I think we should be called Tasty Balls." As a team lead, I'm like, girl, no, we're not going on Food Network with that. But we did.
Hey, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history. So,
Go Chef D. Hey, look, now I'm kind of worried about Chef D, but she did. She came through right then. No, that's all good. Man, okay, so we in H-Town.
Yes.
You from Dallas.
Yes.
So we were short for Thanksgiving. You in Alaska with the cold, and from what I've heard, never been there, they say 19 hours almost a daylight. How did you do this? Like, how long it took to adapt? What's happening?
I didn't adapt.
Hey.
Did not adapt. We were there for 35 days. Exactly. On dot. No, seriously, there was no adaptation. Like, it's just not possible. As far as the daylights, we started off, it would get light around 9 a.m., get dark around 5. And the further north we went and the longer we stayed there, it was definitely getting light around 10 and dark around 3:30.
Wow.
I will tell you, Kendrick, it was the most rewarding, one of the most rewarding, yet mentally challenging. It was challenging because like you're negative 10. So how do you, so we're in negative 10 degree weather. I have on 6 layers of clothes. Me personally, I'm outside the food truck trying to get more customers. So I'm outside. My pen has frozen. My iPad is frozen, but I have to win this competition. Yeah. So it was like, how can I get this right? So it was there were a lot of moments where my team and I would just be like, I need a moment. I need a break. Because you are in a competition and you do want to win. And you like literally the weather was our biggest challenge. Yeah.
And did you have a favorite challenge out of all of them during the competition?
I did, and it was not aired. So the very final episode, we had to go dog mushing. People say, what is that? Glad you asked. It is where you're in the snow and you have a pack of dogs and we're on a sled and we kick their butt in it. It was a time challenge. We coordinated so well and we did it together. We synced. Black girls from Houston, Texas. Okay. Got on here in some snow and won and beat a team from New York who was very arrogant if you watch the show. So that was my favorite challenge. My other favorite challenge was the customer service challenge. If you watch the show, so I'm out there getting it. I'm like, hey, you had to be creative at this point. Nobody was there because it was so cold. So even the locals didn't come out. And I'm out there. They're saying whoever get the most written reviews. So the people didn't want to buy. I told my chefs, hey, make me some samples. Okay. Make me some samples. They taste the sample. They still get to leave us a customs. They get to give a taste review. Baby, I was using that marketing brand.
Come on now.
And we won that challenge.
Ooh, cold though.
Yeah. Well,
congratulations on the win.
Thank
you. That was the thing. So at what point? Was it a point in there where you like, oh yeah, we got this? Or was it down to the wire?
It's down to the wire. I never had a moment of, oh, we got this. I always stayed very even killed. Because let me be clear, the other team was definitely kicking our butts. Okay. They were kicking our butts. And I shared this with my team prior to us finding out who won. No matter what, y'all, we made it here. Again, 3 Black women. The temperature is literally 100 degrees lower than what we're used to. We came out here. We lasted for 5 weeks. we've already, like, even if we didn't win a $50,000, we won. So Kendrick, when it was time to, on the finale, when you're finding out who won, they tell you, hey, okay, on the count of 3, I want y'all to open the box. And since I was the team lead, me and the other team lead walk up. And I wish I had something, but I opened the box. It's like a Christmas box. You're supposed to take the box off, put it over there. All I do, Kendrick, I just kind of tip it. And I see that green money. And I say, ah! And I turn around to my team. So it was a moment of, we did it. When everything was against us, the weather, just everything was against us, and we did it. So we cried and we screamed so loud.
Yeah, you should though, because look, just the weather alone, and so just being out there thinking, man, come on now, you know we weren't used to that, but at the end of the day, that Southern hospitality took it home.
Yes,
I love it, man. And so as an administrator in elementary school, you know, mentoring young boys and girls, like I said earlier, I commend you for taking the risk, being creative with the brand that you're building, and being innovative, you know, because like I said, I don't know nobody who do what you do. Once you understand it. And so you pitch it, you say, oh no, this is different. So if I was to play a clip for the young women, believing that they couldn't be in your position of what you went through, what do you say to them?
I would tell those young queens to dream out loud. And that's something I say often. And what I mean by dream out loud is, if you're dreaming it and this is something that you want, it's attainable. You wouldn't be able to think of it if it wasn't. So take that dream, put it on some paper. And then after you put that dream on paper, I want you to create some action steps. What do I need to do? Not step 1, step 2, or step 3. Just write down things that you need to do to get to that next level. And every day, do one of those things. No matter how small, no matter how big, every day, do at least one. That's what I would tell the babies.
Come on now. I'm going to play it too. I got some of them. I think they done found out about my channel now because they watch. Like, can we be on your channel? Yeah. I got one. Every time she see me in the hallway, I got the notification smashed. I said, all right. So fun times, man. Awesome words. Great information about the brand. Before we get out of here, just give us the contact information. How do we find it? And if I'm a food truck, how do I even get in contact to get signed up?
Absolutely. So first of all, let me say this. Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it. I truly, truly love inspiring people, especially my people. I want them to know that all things are possible, and I am a living witness of that. So please know that. That is my life's purpose, to show everyone that all things are possible. But if you're looking to book a food truck, even if you don't want to get it wrapped, I now even booked food trucks for events. And I do all the hard work for you. I've already tasted it. I create the menu for you, all that great stuff. So if you're looking to book a food truck, if you want your own customized or personalized food truck, or if you want a champagne bike cart at your venue or your next event, you can find me on Instagram at The Food Truck Lady. That's THE Food Truck Lady. Or you can go to my website at brand, BRAND, appetit, APPETIT.com. And there you go.
And there you go. Man, thank you again. I look forward to sharing this. I like to just break it down and take those sound bites, because you said so many awesome things to empower our community today. So big appreciation, Miss Misty.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Let me know when the recording is available. I'll make sure I push it out on social as well.
Oh yeah, I get in a few minutes. All right then. All right, y'all. This is KT for KTTV signing out. 100.
This is Darnell with Broadcast Houston.
This is Dr. Tamara Beckford.
Hey, this is Candace.
This is London Underwood.
This is Kirsten Bass with Inner City Greens, and you're watching.
Y'all are now tuned in to
KTTV.
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 KTTV. Is that right?